So one of my biggest learnings was that you shouldn't do two things at a time. So when the your paycheck doesn't hit your account towards the end of the month, um, that's where you start thinking how to scale the business, how.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Digital Edge podcast. I am your host, Dhruv Shah, and I'm very excited to welcome you all on this journey with me. In this podcast, we are going to deep dive into the world of marketing and business, discuss strategies, successes, failures, and everything in between. We are going to explore how digital marketing shapes businesses today and maybe even get a glimpse into where it's headed. So, a little about myself. I am a digital marketer with over 10 years of experience specializing in performance and growth marketing. My work spans everything from lead generation and e commerce to B2C, B2B, and SaaS. I've been managing campaigns across all ad platforms, be it Google, Meta, LinkedIn, you name it. I have been very fortunate enough to work with some amazing clients across the world, and I'm currently helping a few brands become visible and make their mark in this cluttered digital market. So, why am I starting this podcast? Well, after years of working behind the scenes, I realized there is a lot of value in sharing the real life stories, the challenges, and the strategies that actually make a difference. This isn't about teaching or preaching. It's just about having honest, open conversations with people who are actually doing the work, making things happen, and trying to push the boundaries in the field of marketing and business. So, whether you are an entrepreneur, a marketer, or just someone who is curious about how the digital world is evolving, you are in the right place. I'm very excited to start with our very first episode, which is called Yesterday's Hustle, Tomorrow's Vision. So it's now time to welcome our first guest, or I would rather say my co host. She's a startup founder, a client experience specialist, a account manager, and someone without whom I would have not taken this leap and start this podcast. Please welcome my dear friend, Needhi Bharmani.
Hi
Hi, Nidhi.
everyone. Hi Dhruv. Thank you for this lovely introduction. And I'm very excited to be here. It's pretty early in the morning, so it feels good.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for helping me start this. I am very grateful to have you here and very excited to take this journey starting with you. So, and I will not forgive you for waking me up early.
I'll try to do it more.
Yeah. So I just briefly touched upon your titles, but I would love to talk more about what you are doing right now, where you are busy, and what's happening in your professional life.
So I'm doing a lot of things right now. As it is for every 30 something, where you try different hats and you figure out where you actually belong. So what I'm doing right now, I'm working with a corporate communications business. It's called Magenta, and we are in pure B2B corporate communications, which leads into branding, thought leadership, a lot of content and design. My role is on the account management side and client services, and I make sure that my clients are happy. I also do a lot of business development for the business, just to make sure that there's good enough clients and we are sort of uh, bringing new type of work in the portfolio. Alongside that, I have also started a new business. It's called Nira Skin, and we are an innovative and transparent skincare brand, which is going to burst a lot of myths and a lot of inappropriate practices that are happening in this particular sector. So I won't reveal much at this stage, but possibly in a couple of few other episodes, you'll be able to hear more about me. But that's all from my side. But what about you, Dhruv? What is happening with you?
First of all, congratulations for Neera Skin. I'm very excited to hear more about it. and to get the product out in the market for the people. It's been interesting life right now. I deep dived into freelancing a couple of years ago, quitting my job, and I never had been on the business side of this front, and I'm enjoying it. I think I would say I'll use the favorite word going around right now. I'm hustling right now. So I would not say I'm struggling. It's I think more of hustling. I'm enjoying. I have a few clients going on right now. One of which is ITER, so I'm doing performance marketing for them. And it's a very interesting client because they are coming up with AI video stories. So they are blending AI with storytelling. So it's kind of a regular OTT platform, but in the AI format. So it's a
Okay.
completely new world for me, especially from marketing point of view. Challenges regarding the audience segmentation, how the people are reacting to it, and there is no much past history to this because this is kind of a first mover in their industry. So exciting. I'm learning a lot from it, and I've tasted early success, so enjoying that also. uh, and I do have a few more new exciting clients coming up in September, so looking forward to it. Yeah. So you mentioned a bit about what you are doing right now and what is coming up. Let us rewind the clock and tell me how has your journey been? How you started this account management thing, or where you are right now in your startup as well?
So the journey goes down back a decade. I started working when I was fairly young, at like 16 or 17 year old, and two things I was very much sure of. One is that I would be running a business. Running a business and running a successful business are two different things. So I was of a mindset that I will run a business and I will make it successful. So that was one of my high priority goals. And second was, I was always interested in numbers and sales, of course. So I started with stock trading at around 17, 18. I went and studied financial markets, and post that I did my masters. And after that, I decided to try bank assurance. I was working with ICICI Prudential selling life insurances. That's a very big job that I picked up, but I thought that selling life insurance would be one of the toughest job for a 21-year-old. So I did that for a couple of years. Post that, I got an opportunity with Pricewaterhouse in mergers and acquisition. Um, I learned a lot. I think the corporate setup sort of always helps at the start of the career. So I learned a lot. I did multiple courses over there in Power Pivot, Power Query, Power BI, and I found my new love over there. That's MS Excel. So that was my new true found love. Post that, I took a break. I started a startup. It was called Bomb, which is a food consulting business. And we used to help restaurants in setting up the menus, did the branding, designed t-shirts. So did learned a lot of Photoshop on the way so that I could save some on the vendor cost. So that was a nice little business, and then sort of I decided to close because it did not scale. So that was another learning for me, that if anything doesn't scale or grows, it and then if you still continue, it becomes a part of your hobby. So businesses are not to be made hobby. So I decided to close that down, and I came across a LinkedIn ad for Magenta, where I'm currently working as a head of client services. And that is 6 years back, and I'm still here working with them. It's a great experience, a lot of global exposure. With the global clients, and yeah, I've started Mira Skin as well, and hopefully this is going to be one of my only things to do in life. So yeah. And yeah, I did forget another startup of mine in between, but I will delve into it a little later in the conversation. That's
That's
about me, Dhruv. What was your past like?
First of all, let me take in what all you have said about your past journey. I have not had such a huge, nice LinkedIn rap sheet behind me. I'm very excited to hear more about your learnings from your old startups, because now that I see, I had completely forgotten about bomb. You have touched upon the food industry, the travel industry, and now you're getting into the skin industry. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great, Nidhi. With me, we'll have to go back a lot behind to give some context. It's been a typical Indian boy journey. Uh, Always wanted to become a cricketer. I still feel that I'm very good at it, and I would have loved to be one, or at least be part of the cricket industry. But then, obviously, coming from a non-sports background family, we don't see sports as a very viable career. So, like any other Indian guy, moved to engineering. I mean, worked hard there in the 4 years of engineering. And you would be surprised to hear, but I think those 4 years were the best years of my life. I know it, not in terms of the professional life, it did not convert into my profession. But those 4 years, we were at that age that it, constructed my personality, made me ready in terms of facing the world in professional life, because I did not have any exposure before that.
Yeah.
So it was a big step in my career, and I still owe a lot to it, despite me not following engineering after studying there for 4 years. Then I moved to marketing. I actually happened to go into marketing by accident because I wanted to move away from engineering. And I worked in Group M. You might have heard of it. It's one of
Yeah.
the biggest media agencies in the world. And as a 21-year-old, I just worked my ass off there for 2 years, and I learned a lot. Like you said, MS Excel was one thing where it became very,
Yeah.
and I really loved it. And I think everyone should learn Excel at
Yeah.
that young age. It's very helpful. So it was a foundation for me in terms of marketing, working there. Then since I fell in love with it, I thought I'll get a formal education, move to Ireland for masters in marketing. And since then, I worked for a couple of agencies and working for myself now, servicing clients in performance and growth marketing. Yeah.
That's that's exciting, Dhruv. We've known each other for 10 years, but then this is the first time we're speaking in this professional format. So it's always good to hear the accolades that we've got. Uh, Tell me
Yes.
a bit more about performance marketing. I think you've mentioned it multiple times and it's there as your subtitle as well. So let's give audience some sort of flavor
Yeah.
of what does performance marketing mean in layman's term.
Yeah, sure. So let me break it in a very easy way. So suppose you are running a shop, and you are paying someone to get customers to your shop. So
Hmm.
it's basically that. But here you only pay that person the commission only if he or she gets you customers to the shop. Otherwise, you
Okay.
don't pay anything. So now just imagine that in a digital platform. So you have a website, you are running an e-commerce brand, say a skin brand, and you are paying Google some money to get customers to your website. Your website is basically your retail shop.
Right.
So you only pay Google if somebody clicks on your ad, or watches your ad, or makes a conversion, that is a sale. So there are different types of system. In a way, you are charged on Google or other ads platform, and you can select that whether you want just people to click and come to your website. You are okay people to watch. You want to reach many people. So accordingly, there are like a lot of metrics on which the costing system is based. So it's as simple as that. So for example, if I run a Facebook ad to sell
Mhm.
shoes, I will be able to see all kinds of metric: how many people viewed my ad, how many people clicked on it, and how many people actually purchased. And a matter
Yeah.
of fact, how many people went to the cart, added the shoes to the cart, and still did not purchase. So you get all the information in performance marketing, so you are in a lot of control of your data, of your budget, and how much you want to spend. And you can strategize a lot because you get almost all kinds of data that is required when you are running a brand.
That's
So
interesting. I
yeah,
have a question on that. So, is
sure.
performance marketing limited to just the product businesses, or it's applicable to the service businesses as well?
No, it's applicable to all kinds of businesses. So basically, it depends on what your goal is. So performance
Hmm.
marketing can do everything. It's just your goal shifts. So if it's a
Right.
product business, you want people to purchase it directly. So your goal is to buy now. So that will be
Right.
your CTA. That will be your conversion focus. But for service based, you probably want the customer or the user to fill a form, to contact you, to schedule a meeting, probably lead
Right.
generation. So you can do every sorts of thing for any kind of business from there. You just need to, the difference is that you will need to identify what kind of platform works best for what kind of product or services brand is providing. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love to know a little more about your startup experience. I mean, let's deep dive into what you have learned, how, what were the successes like, what was the struggle like, and like tell me, like, how do you, like you very maturely said that you should know when to stop.
Yeah.
So how did you develop all those things? If we can deep dive into that.
Okay. So, I think one is, I think it's the instinct that you get, right? So, let me give you a context about the other two. The bomb is something that I already explained, but I have another business called Beyond Postcard, which took off very, very well. We were an experiential travel business, and we used to tap with the upcoming homestays, which are run by family, in the hills, so in Himachal, Uttarakhand, and Northeast. And we used to tie it with the experiences such as, for example, apple plucking or pottery, something which is untouched. The
Offbeat.
locations are unaware. It's not Manali or like Shibla. It's like quaint little villages which you wouldn't have even heard of. So it took off
Yeah.
really well. We were also working with the caravan services over there. um, so we used to do like group travels, like, but there came a stage, and even COVID sort of helped us, or did not help us to figure out that it's not going to work. One, because the sales cycle itself was very, very long. Second, it was highly dependent upon my time. I couldn't expand the team because there was no visibility in terms of, I'm getting larger bookings, or I've got like fixed calendar of clients that are going to travel with me. So that was the second aspect. And the third aspect was managing the expectations of the client while you're working on full time on other the
Yeah.
organization as well. So all of these three factors sort of made me realize that even though it's a great business, it has a high potential to scale. It's not something that I would be able to pull it off. And I think that realization came to me a year later than it should have come, but it came, and I'm glad. So, I mean, we spent a lot on content. There was good design. The page is still active. So if anyone on the listening side listening to this, go on Beyond Postcard. Check it out, the content. It was very, very interesting. But then I had to close the books for the business because, again, I was continuing it for that 1 year which I said as a hobby, but then I realized that no, it is becoming as a hobby now, so you should stop. So I stopped it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sits in my portfolio. It's very hard, very, very, very close to me. And Dhruv also sort of helped me in performance marketing for the business. So yeah, yeah, that's what it was. So these were my learnings.
That's very interesting. I have a few follow-up questions on that.
Yeah,
So, like you said, I think personally what I felt is that you couldn't give 100% to it.
yeah.
I felt that it was a very, very good venture. A
Mm.
lot of growth opportunity, a lot of scaling opportunity. You were also creating good enough content
Yeah,
for postcards. So I'll definitely put the link in the description. Let people watch it. Uh,
yeah.
so, like you said, I think, see, what I have heard from a lot of entrepreneurs or startup founders is that you need to probably be in the business for 2 years to actually understand whether you will survive or not. So like
Yeah.
you said that you got to know it too early that you might not be able to survive, but you had other reasons like you were not able to give that 100% as well.
Right. Right.
So do you think that I think for someone like us, it's never going to be easy to give 100% to a bootstrapped company, putting it all in terms of time and money at this
Yeah.
point of age. So what are your advices, like what should we do to get to start a successful business, as well as keep hustling on the side for job for probably the money or what you're liking you doing?
Yeah. I would. So one of my biggest learnings was that you shouldn't do two things at a time. So when the your paycheck doesn't hit your account towards the end of the month, um, that's where you start thinking how to scale the business. How can you go out and do sales um, immensely? Because there is always this monetary pressure that will come towards the end of the month if you're not working. If you're working, okay, you're comfortable, that will always become your first priority. So that is one of my learning, that two things can't work together for sure. People still do it, but it always becomes priority B. So, and when you are in business, that's the only thing you should be doing. So that was a hard pill for me to take, but that's the biggest learning that I've had, that if you're doing something, be all in or none. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good advice, and I think I agree with it. If we put all our
Yeah,
energy and focus in time, I think business takes that out of you.
it does.
So
It does.
yeah, I can only imagine how you are doing it right now and how you have been doing it all along. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great story. Yeah,
And it also depends upon what kind of business you are in. If it's a product business, it's going to be cash strapped business, right? If it's a service business, you still have an leeway to do other things on side, and picking up other freelance project, for example, on side. But if you are in a product business, you need capital, and if you want to scale, then other factors also come in place. So I would, anyone who's listening to this is planning to start a new business in product sector, have some sort of capital backup in case things don't work out. But I think whoever does business is sort of skillful to find something in case things don't work out. So just go for it, go for your instinct, because that always helps.
definitely. Or else, as a founder, you'll always have to start dancing on Instagram Reels, the trending Reels.
Yeah. So,
The-
Drew, tell me about this. In today's digital landscape, paid advertisement plays a crucial role in driving growth for any startups. Okay,
yeah.
marketing is the thing. So, from your perspective as a performance marketer, what are the three most important things for a founder to look at when we are going out and hiring a specialist who's going to be running the performance marketing and ads for us?
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting question. Because I have seen a lot of upcoming founders or the startup founders making this mistake. I think when you hire someone, you see definitely they are going to be eligible in terms of their skillfulness in their own niche. So
Yeah.
if it's a Google Ads expert, Facebook Ads expert, I'm sure they know at least the 80% of what they are going to say, and they can definitely learn. But I think the three things that you should look forward to look into is one is the applicant or the person should be data driven mindset, because right now in especially in the digital world, I think we do get real time data, and it's moving very in a fast paced manner. So optimization and adapting as per the data is very important. So someone who is well versed with numbers, well with data, and can create strategies according to that data. So the other, coming to the second point, is creativity with strategy. So probably, so once I'm good with data, I'm good with analytics, I have seen and read the numbers of the campaigns, of the brand history and everything. But then I should know how to transform from that data into creativity when I am creating a ad and placing it front of the audience.
Right.
So it's again being a all-rounder kind of a thing. So numbers, creativity, and the third thing is, I think, which is the most important right now, is adaptability. So it's not, I'm just not throwing a word, but I've seen, especially after COVID, that the platforms are also changing very fast. The algorithms are changing fast. The trends are coming and going every other day. So not only from social media terms, but there are so many new things that are coming up in each of the ad platform, that you need to stay updated. You need to upskill yourself every now and then, and adapt to the new trends or new algorithms that are coming up. So we can't be stuck in our old ways कि पहले ये चलता था. Now we'll keep following that success thing. That will not work.
So
If
you
it
need to
worked for
move
me
with.
last month, yeah, if it worked for me last month, it might not work for me this month. So you need
Hmm.
to keep upgrading yourself. So you need to check these three things: data driven mindset, creativity with strategy, and probably adaptability is the most important thing for me.
And how do
Yeah.
you keep track of the upcoming trends? Is it something that you have a specific resource that you look into, that might just help us to understand what's our like daily trends, what are the changes in the platforms? Is there any place where anyone can go and see?
So I think there are like n number of resources available these days. Like if you open LinkedIn, the first post I
Yeah.
get is 10 free tools to follow the Google Ads platform, 10 free tools to do AI stuff. So I think all of them are valid, all of them give value, and all of them give information. So I generally follow those official pages of the platform. The
Mm-hmm.
Instagram founder, recently I was following him on Instagram. So in his story, in his Ask Me questions, he had actually announced that he's coming up with we will be able to post 20 photos in the carousel now instead of 10. Then the
Okay.
videos and the reels are merging. So those kind of things he announced himself on the Instagram platform.
Hmm.
So follow these people, follow, subscribe to some newsletters, download some ebooks as well, because there are a lot of value that people are providing for free on LinkedIn and on other platforms. You just need to find out your niche, what do you want to get upskill in, and keep reading that day in and day out. So you'll get to know. And
Yeah,
I think in this world, digital world, I think news spreads fast. So if you are, in the right community in your digital space, you will not miss out on anything.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. And are you planning to start your own community where people can tap into or be part of?
Yes, yes. So definitely I'm trying to, get into that space as well, because I think I now have enough valuable content to offer to my audience.
Right.
I just didn't want to like, serve half-baked truth for that. So now
Hmm.
I have some experience behind me. I have the knowledge there, and I think I've started now building my own profile also on LinkedIn. You might have seen.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to put out some valuable content there, but I think I'll take some time. Like you've seen, I think I started a podcast after a month or over a month
Yeah.
of research and our discussion and brainstorming. So I think I like to first back it up with a lot of research, and then
Mm-hmm.
probably,
Makes sense.
because if people are going to follow me and take my word as truth, I think I need to back it with solid knowledge there. So yeah, I'll come up with a community soon.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So, enough about me now. I want to ask you,
Hmm.
so what's your favorite and the worst part of being a founder? In your explanation and the conversation, the stories that you have told me, I could pick out a few from both the sides, but I want to
Yeah.
hear it from you because you have done the job behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there have been days like, oh, why am I doing this? What am I getting out of it? Why
Yeah.
can't I just do the easy thing, which is I'm having a job, I'm doing great there.
Yeah.
So what it is like, I mean, if you could tell me a few favorite parts of the being a
Yeah.
founder and the worst part.
So, let me start with the favorite part. Favorite part is it's a different feeling of making your own baby, deciding how you want it to grow. It's not actual baby, but it is something that it's your passion. And and the fact that you are going to make an impact, people are going to trust you, building that trust, okay, is something that I want to. And I think relationships is something that I really enjoy and like to nurture. I think in my professional background as well, as a client services person, that's a thing that I do. So that I enjoy doing that. I think uh, being employable and employing other people is another favorite part of mine, and contributing to their own journey. So people who are part of our team, everyone is women, and it's sort of going to, and all of them are working as their own passion. So it's very great to see that like-minded people are coming together. I think the worst part of it is I think it's worse than the favorite part as well, the unpredictability. Every day is new. It's not constant. So you'll wake up with a message which is going to just either topple your phone or either make you smile. So you don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So that's the worst and the best part. And the another thing is that not everyone will view it as their own, right? Uh, the business.
Yeah.
So at the end, you would be the one who would be facing what it's facing. It's their responsibility to do what is part of that. But and yeah, you don't know what is the end of the tunnel, right? So anything can happen at the end. So just keep on pushing without any hope or expectations of where it's going to be. So yeah, that's
Uh,
that's the
uh,
worst. And what about you as a freelancer? What's your favorite and the worst part?
yeah, I think now I'm moving towards your side of the table.
Mm,
Freelancing is probably now, it's kind of a business in itself for me.
right.
I was never a business person, and I took this big leap because I think the favorite part is, and that is the reason why I shifted to this, is that you have that freedom to work with whoever you want,
Yeah.
whenever you want, and you can dictate your own terms. You can choose your own clients, and the best part is, which I did not think was in my job, was I can directly contribute to the client's success.
Mm,
So I am the one point contact for marketing. What my efforts are, what I am doing for them, are directly reflecting in their business returns,
mm,
be it product or service. But I am contributing in a major way. So I like that responsibility. I like that tag of contributing directly to the business success. It makes me a part of the client system, rather than when I was doing a job, probably we were working in a team and then with somebody from the client side, but I never felt like I was part of that brand. But when now I'm servicing each client, even though it's a job for me, but I think I am an employee for each of those clients. So I am an in-house employee. I'm working very hard for their success. I do a lot of personal stuff. I get enjoyment in sharing their content as well on my personal account, because
right.
I think I feel like they are my own brand. They're my client. I've invested so much there. That's what I
Mm,
feel. So that I love that feeling of being belonging there. Uh, the worst part that came with it is, I think everybody has heard about freelancing. You send the invoice, but you get no reply there.
oh yeah.
So early in my freelance career, I've had a few instances with a couple of clients. I'm still waiting for their paycheck, and it's a huge amount. I worked like for 6 7 months then, but then I had to stop because I had actually quit a job and was doing this, so I couldn't afford just
Mm,
continue working without any paycheck, which I did for that particular client for like 5 to 6 months,
yeah.
because she was a very sweet person. She really is. But ultimately I had to then, like you said, realize that this is a business, not a hobby,
Mm,
and just not do keep doing something that you like, but I have to weigh in the financial factor as well.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there are some good learnings. I think a second episode can come out of it. That what are the do's and don'ts of freelancer. So I would like to add to what you said, that as the agency that I'm working with, there are a lot of freelancers that we also work with. And the fact that you mentioned is sort of you work as an extension to the existing team. I think that and collaboration is very, very important if you're a freelancer in this space. So those are some really good takeaways.
Yeah, and I think I cannot work. I mean, when I know if I'm just doing my own job and
Yeah.
then I leave it to the client, it's no fun there. I mean, you want your efforts to see on a bigger screen come
Yeah,
out as a success there. So it's always great to be working as a part of the team rather than just being a contractor.
true.
So yeah, so it's exciting. I am also learning on the way. It's not my best suit, I would say, when it comes to the business side. So once the money is out of the way, dealing with the client, I really enjoy the latter part.
Yeah.
I love the challenges, even the failures. I think it's a big learning along the way. And like I told you, adaptability is something which is required in terms of not upskilling also but adapting every month to new results that come into your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see that we are running out of time.
Yes.
You have another engagement.
Yes.
So it's been lovely talking to you, Nidhi. I think we'll wrap up the first episode with some last thoughts from your side. How did you feel? I was very excited for this episode, and finally we are doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very happy with it. So tell me, what are your takeaways? How did you feel?
I enjoyed the conversation. I think there are lots of learnings as two individuals over here are trying to, share their experience. But I think in the coming episode, which Dhruv will be doing, there'll be a lot of insights, which is more related to the actual part of it, of the nitty gritties of marketing and business and entrepreneurship. So I enjoyed the conversation. I think the takeaways for me is adaptability, as you rightly said. Performance marketing is essential and the need of an hour. And every business is something that organic will play a big role, but not without the boost of performance marketing. And third is keep hustling, guys. You'll reach where you have to, but just don't quit. Just keep on going. Yeah, these are my takeaways for today.
That's lovely.
What
You
about
gave a
you?
lot of
Do you
You
have a
gave a
quick?
lot of great insights. Yeah, I learned a lot. Actually, I'm already thinking about what all you have spoken about the startup journey, the entrepreneur journey. I think a lot of mature things that you spoke about. You know when to stop. You should know when to scale and never do two jobs at a time. Push your energy 100% energy. Focus on only one thing and try to give it your all and try to scale it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big takeaway for me. And yeah, like you said in the upcoming episodes, today we talked a little bit more about our own journey. But coming forward, I think in the going on episodes, we will deep dive into a particular niche in performance marketing, in business, in startup, and how we can scale and what is coming up in future for marketing and business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Nidhi. I will let you go. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
And
Lovely to be here.
I I hope you are just not my guest but a co-host. So hoping for more time from you. Steal
Absolutely.
your time from your job and Nira skin and help me out with the podcast. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much,
Thank
Nidhi.
you, Dhruv. Thank
So, thank you for listening to the first episode of The Digital Edge. I hope you guys enjoyed diving into our journey and take an initial dive into the world of marketing and business. If you like this episode, I'm sure you are going to love the upcoming ones because we are going to dig deeper into the fundamentals of marketing and business. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe so that you stay updated with all our upcoming content. This is the first time I've done this, so I would love to hear your feedback and any constructive criticism is welcome. Thanks again for listening and stay tuned for more. Bye bye.